Good morning, BATJAC JW coming right to you for Saturday morning. It's the radio show, the Collectors Radio Show. So we appreciate everybody jumping in here. I've got the comments here ready to go, and this is the you've heard it right here on the show. We're actually going to talk about my Colt Revolver collection, and this actually may shock some of you, so stay tuned and while we get into that. So all right, here we go. Let's dive into some comments and go ahead and actually address some of the comments and go ahead and read them and all that. Okay, so the first comment here is from, in again, no particular order, and again, also like we always say, if your comment was not read, there could be a couple of reasons. Either you were too late to commenting by the time we did the production of this, or it got pulled by the moderator. So it could be a number of things of those things. So anyway, here we go. Revolver Detective. And this was the referring to the last show that we did, which we talked about the Model 19 Snubby Smith & Wesson. And that's why we're changing it up this time and talking about Colt. The Model 19 is one of my favorite revolvers. Yeah, definitely the Model 19 has got some iconic status there. Jerry Johnson II. I got to get one of those 70 series Colt 1911s for my collection too. Absolutely a beautiful piece of Americana history. 1911. Yeah, that's why I like a lot of those older Colts and whatnot. Mainly, and I know there's so much better stuff out there. Definitely, there's better companies making stuff, but there's something about Colt and the 1911 and its iconic status. It really is. There's just something pure American about it. It's just nostalgia. It's history. It's the name, all that stuff. So definitely, I definitely get that. All right, Big Al. The K-frame is just about the perfect size, or the right size to be used almost anywhere. And I also enjoy hearing the comments. Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you. And that's what we like to do, and like to share the comments and everybody read the comments, and make you a part of the show. And that's the main thing, because without you, well, it'd be a pointless show, wouldn't it? Harrison Mantooth. Good afternoon, BATJAC. By the time you read this, it'll be afternoon, 1:52 p.m. To be exact. I need some glasses. All right, yep. The TV series Brannigan was the #1 influence on me buying a Colt, 4-inch Colts Diamondback 38 special. My first ever handgun was the Colt's 6-inch officer's model match in 38 special. I kick myself every time I think about the time I let it go. There is a lot of those times, there's a lot of things we could have got, that's for sure. I enjoy watching your Collectors Radio podcast. It takes me back in time to where my desk held a couple of handguns and cleaning supplies. I'll keep searching for the 1911 A1 and 45 ACP that has my name on it. Until then, I'll satisfy myself enjoying yours. Thanks again for sharing your handguns with us. It's always a great pleasure for me, Stan. Well, we thank you, Stan. We do. And I'm glad you find the show that we can enjoy. That you can enjoy the stuff through here. And also, we do get a lot of things on loan that doesn't belong to me, but we're very fortunate that people lend us stuff for the show, for videos and all that, and we get to kind of broadcast it here and get to, for everybody to get a chance to check it out. All right, the Scottish American, I miss my 19. I'll get another one someday. Such a great classic and awesome revolver. I do not regret the reason I do not have it. Well worth what we are fighting for. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there up for grabs. Just a matter of if you're in the right place at the right time to get it for the right price. That's been my struggle. Slimfire 54. Good morning, JW. And as always, another great Collectors Radio. Very nice Model 19 you have there too. I have a newer Colt 1911 O model 70 series to go to, and I was looking all of last year at the new Colt Blue Gold Cup and the Kimber 1911 stainless steel Target 2. I decided on the Kimber for now because I found one at my local shop for a good price. The Colts that I was looking at were on auction sites, and I'm still interested in purchasing one later for my collection. Thanks for the video, Slim. Yeah, and a lot of those Colts have gone so far up in price, as we've talked about. It's really hard to get one at a decent price. It really is. All right, Sean Lee, that Model 19 Snubby just oozes cool. What's your favorite gun you own currently or from the past? That's a good question. Let me think about that. All right, Stephen K. I agree, Smith & Wesson for revolvers all the way. I had a 1905 S&W that I let go some years ago and wish I hadn't. Also agree that shooting Magnum rounds or plus P rounds in older guns is punishing for both you and the gun. Some may disagree with me, but in my older Colt 1911, I carry only 230 grain ball and not hollow points. The ballistic coefficient of the 230 grain 45 ACP round is more than sufficient for self-defense. Anyway, great radio show. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, and you know what? And the old 230 grain has been getting it done since World War I. All right, Danger Man, your gun is out of its holster, Briggs. First time. The Model 19 is a great gun. I forgot. That's right. He does have a Model 19 Snubby. And if you recall, right, when he slams his head into the dash, that thing goes flying out of the car. You can see it as they take the turn. You'll see it fly out. So go back and watch that if you... I have a model 1970 model, and it's one of the smoothest double actions. So what amazes me about this revolver is that the sights line up perfectly when you just point the gun. It's a laser as far as accuracy goes. I'm shopping for the Steve McQueen 2.5-inch Diamondback. I'll keep getting outbid because I'm not willing to overpay for one. I feel the 19 Snub is a way better gun. Is a better gun anyway. Plus, let me read more. Plus a good. I got a good deal on mine. The search continues. Wow. I couldn't. You know what? It's almost like I wrote that comment myself because I too want a 2.5 Diamondback McQueen, but. I'm not willing to overpay, and those prices are just stupid. I don't know. They're really stupid. So, I just won't do it myself. So I get where you're coming from. Edward Petty, I love both Smith & Wesson and Colt revolvers. I choose one over the other to choose one over the other is like saying which one of your kids do you like the best. Okay, we got some replies to that. Let's go ahead and see. Scottish American says, the difference between Smith & Wesson and Colt may be small, but to me and to so many others, Smiths just look so much better, and the actions are something to be desired, nothing like old school Smiths. Edward Petty replied to that. Like I said, I love them both. To me, there is no better looking revolver than a Colt Python. When I am ready, I will ask for your help in finding a Model 29. Yeah, Model 29s are definitely getting scarce, especially the vintage ones. If you want like a Dash 2 or something, they're getting pricey. And I have to agree, the Colt Python, we're talking about the blued one, is just hands down a gorgeous revolver. It really is. You can't take that away from it. All right. The Real Cobra Burnout. Hello there. Do you have a favorite lever action rifle used in TV or movies? I do. I mean, basically the model, the Winchester 92 with a 16-inch barrel, because the Duke carries that in most of his films. Absolutely love it. Ever since as a young kid, watching the Western movies and working the action and those shells popping up on top, loved it. I had a toy when way back. We bought it at Pay and Save, or no, it wasn't Pay and Save. Was it Payless or Pay and? I think it was Pay and Save. We had a local shop in town called Pay and Save, and we bought it there. My parents bought it there. Told me I couldn't open it till Christmas, and when I did, boy, I tell you, I ran around the house playing with that thing. What it did was it ejected those plastic shells. And of course, I played with that so everywhere. I mean, just constantly. I wish I still had it in some ways. Waterhead 1. Have you seen the new TSOS Raider M1911 copy of the Flak Dark Earth? I'm assuming that's what FDE means. Colt, the Marines carry. They said they want to continue making copies of other military pistols. The Colts are thousands of dollars. Yeah, again, but yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with the TSOS. I really am. I mean, that A1 configuration one that I got is definitely, it's hands down one of the best copies I've seen for the price. And I know, as people go, oh, well, if it wasn't for the price, okay, yeah. One of the best copies ever is the Colt War 1 replica. Yeah, it is the best copy. Sure, you got $2,500 to throw down on one and buy one. Go ahead. So, but not all of us like myself just has that laying around. Let me just give that $3,000 right here and just All right, the Bohemian Hunting Club, Snubby Love. And Ryan, my 19-3 2.5 nickel finish is the sexiest gun in my safe. I definitely would have to agree. That sounds really nice. Never seen one in nickel. All right, Lion Quest Fitness. I couldn't watch Last Man Standing because of the unrealistic gunplay. Also, I've got the 66-2 Snubby. You can't beat a traditional Smith bluing on that 19. Bluing absolutely incredible on Old Smiths. One of the reasons I fell for them and collect them, there is nothing else like them. That was a reply from the Scottish American, and yes, I have to agree with you there. Trees of blowing, morning. All right, so you know what? Back up here, we have a question. And that question, where did it go? But it had the question was, what is my favorite handgun? Well, I'd have to break it up into two parts, I guess, because my favorite revolver to shoot and collect and love is the Model 29 Smith & Wesson. I'd have to say that that's my favorite. The Model 29 is by far my favorite. The versatility. I think it was Squiblo that even said that if when you hand load for the 44 Special. It is a lot of fun. It really is. I can't express how much fun that is to load for a 44 Special. And then when you have it being shot out of a Magnum, it's just even more fun to kind of. So I mean, you can make it a little warmer if you want to. You can make them pretty light. I like powders like Trail Boss where. You can do things with that and make them, they're kind of fun to kind of mess around with. Heck, I mean, throw 7 grains of Trail Boss in that thing and, push a 230 grain slug out of there. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite powders. The other one is I like using Red Dot or Unique, which if you're familiar with hand loading, those are really great. Very universal, very soft shooting powders that gives you a nice push rather than a very snappy recoil like something hotter like a bullseye powder or something like that, which nothing wrong with that. I started off hand loading with bullseye, but I've grown to like these other powders a lot better because of the recoil impulse and you get a whole different kind of feel out of it, a different characteristic from the round. Semi-auto wise, a 1911. A 19. I mean, I really one of my favorite ones to take to the range and definitely mess with is it's got to be my Springfield Armory Ronin. It's a Commander variant. It's an alloy frame, and it's in 9mm. It's the ultimate package. It really is. It's just the ultimate package. I know to many people it's sacrilegious, but that is the best package all in all. That package is phenomenal. So I'd have to say that would be my choices right there. It's all in all fun at the range, and I tell you, that Ronin. I mean Springfield Armory really hit a good one with that one. That Ronin Commander variant is excellent. All right, so we got my Colt Revolver collection, and to some it may shock you because a lot of you, if you're new to the channel, if you look back at a lot of the older videos I've done, which are very very poor quality for say, but I love revolvers, always have. There's something cool about revolvers, and this may shock you because I love Colt. I love that company. I love their history. I love everything about them, the nostalgia. But I actually don't have a very large Colt revolver collection, I guess you say. I mean, in comparison to most people and what they got, I certainly do not have a great deal of stuff. I do have, and I'll go over a lot of these. Okay, so we'll go over the very first one I ever bought, which is this one right here. This is a Colt Detective Special. This is, I guess you could say, it's kind of a early generation because of the floating ejector rod. You can see here the ejector rod is not shrouded by any way. It's built under what they call a D frame, which is the same frame size as a Diamondback. So there it is. And of course, with Colts, you pull the cylinder release latch right there. This is the very first Colt double action revolver I ever bought. It's the same one. I actually at one time had a couple of them. I sold them off, and I kept this one because it's the very first one I bought. It's probably not worth a whole lot, but because it's fairly worn, it's definitely got some holster wear and whatnot. But you know what? It's the first one I bought, and the reason I bought it is because of the movie The French Connection with Gene Hackman. That's why I bought it. I loved it because of that. All right. The other one I have here is another snubby, since we're on snubbies. This is a Colt Agent, is what this one's called. It's got an alloy frame. It's a 38 special. The same as the Detective Special. 6-shot. Again, this is a D frame. And the reason I got this is I didn't buy it. This was given to me. This is a gift. This is my uncle's gun. My uncle had this, and it just, like I said, just happened to be a Colt. When I first saw him with it, I expressed like, wow, that's really cool. It's a Colt. It's a classic Colt 38 snubby, again, like the other one, it's classic. And before I moved and left home, the island, he threw this on the table. And he said, this is yours. Take it with you. And I declined at first. I did not want to take it from him. And his words to me, and he would appreciate this because that's just how he is. He said, what are you going to do? Throw it in my casket? So I took it, and it's his, and I will never get rid of it because it's his. And it could have been anything. It just happened to be a Colt. So that's one that it's just in the collection because of that reason. Not because I wanted to buy that gun or anything like that, or that revolver. So... all right, and the other one here is a Colt Diamondback. Yes, Colt 38 caliber Diamondback. Lieutenant, you shouldn't be wearing that particular item. Fellow at the front door said I had to, not the tie. Colt 38 caliber Diamondback that you have right there in your belt. So, yes, the 4-inch barreled Colt Diamondback out of the snake guns. This is the one vintage one that I kept. The other ones I sold off. Just never really was interested in them. But the reason I have this and kept this is because of Brannigan. Yes, we've already talked about that. Brannigan with the Duke himself. That's the reason why I got this. And I remember finding it online or something that it was like pretty cheap. That's because it was worn. I mean, it's got some wear spots on it. Heck, I shoot it. I don't care. I mean, but it's in decent enough shape where the bluing is pretty much about 90% still there. So it's fine. You know, there it is. And I got it because of the movie. That's it. And then the last but not least, which is always been subjected to where do I keep it? Do I get rid of it? I mean, who knows? But for now, it's still in the collection. The new 2020 Python. And this one here is in stainless steel. Well, obviously it's stainless steel. What I mean is it's a snubby version. It's the 3-inch barrel. And actually, if you think about what I mean by that, is from the forcing cone inside the frame here to the end of the muzzle is 3 inches. So actually from frame out, it's 2 inches. That's right there. So I've always liked a Python snubby, and the Pythons, you know, of course, they have a really amazing reputation. But, you know, the fact that these are out, it's pretty cool. And Colt was offering them out. And, you know, of course, if you want a 3-inch barreled snubby or, you know, the Python, I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, you might as well put your house up for collateral to get one. It's just freaking stupid. I mean, to be honest. Yeah, and they offered these out. The action's great. I love the action on them. They're strong. They work. They shoot well, and it's just beautiful. I always wanted a little shorty, so I got one. And you know, the fact that you can get them out there, and I think, you know what, yeah, they're available now, but you know, maybe in the future they'll be worth something. I could say, yeah, I bought mine brand new. So, but yeah, and that is it. I mean, I'm not really wild about their revolvers. I just am not. I have not really had. I don't have a desire to own a Peacemaker, a real one, as Colt. You know, a Colt. I guess that would be referred to as that, because I got the Cimarrons. I've got the copies, the imported ones from Italy, because they're cheaper, and I want to use them. I want to take them to the range. I don't want to, you know, scratch them and cry. So because I spent $4,000 or $5,000 on one, which is and that's where it is for me. Like currently, I mean, just with finances, I mean, I can't justify spending thousands of dollars. I mean, on one of their revolvers or something, or anything like that for that matter. I have a hard time when it starts to get into the that kind of numbers, you know, $3,000 and up and stuff like that. It just starts getting a little silly to me. It just starts to, I start to think, I don't know. I just don't see it. So, but and you know, but hey, I mean, hey, if you win the lottery, post lottery winnings, why the heck not, right?